We talk Alabama football with Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama and his show The Way It Is on Fox 97.9 on a regular basis. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for the very best in college football coverage with folks like Stephen and 98 media contributors in 2017. All right. We were all impressed, Stephen, of course, with the play of Tua Tagavailoa. And also then we were equally, if not even more, impressed with Tua's response and his words and his approach to interviews after the game, as well as Jalen Hurts and what he had to say about his love for the team and his support for the team and for Tua after the game. And now we can be even more impressed, as that wasn't just a response in the moment, that Tua has certainly expressed his support for Jalen Hurts on social media as well.
These two genuinely love each other. I remember, once again, going back to a lot of the people I've had conversations with, you would think that with two highly talented quarterbacks, these guys were both the man in high school. These guys were both calling the shots. These guys were both highly recruited, highly talented players. The world revolved around them. And to go from the world revolving around you in high school to college, where you have to learn how to just be one of the guys and accept the role that you're being placed in, that's a difficult pill to swallow. And for Jalen and for Tua, when you see one on the field doing well, the other one's right there hugging, embracing, giving words of wisdom, encouragement, praying also on behalf of both of those guys. They both do it together. Now, for me, do I feel like Jalen Hurts immediately transfers after what has happened in the title game? I don't think he immediately transfers. I think he still competes for the starting job at quarterback. It's what he wants to do. Now, if he was to lose out to Tua Tagovailoa, which a lot of people are pegging that down as an absolute definite, then I can see one of two things. Number one, there definitely a transfer could be in place. I know former Alabama quarterback Greg McElroy talked about, Jalen Hurts being a Texas guy, coming from Houston, Texas. The Longhorns might be in need of a quarterback. I don't see that with Tom Herman having Shane Buechele and the other guy, I think his last name is Ellington. Both of those guys really good at that position. Ellington, the guy that Tom Herman very much so high on and wants to win the quarterback job. I could kind of see TCU as a possible landing spot for Jalen, the spread offense that Sonny Cumbie has going on there with the Horned Frogs under Gary Patterson. Gary Patterson, though a defensive-minded guy, we saw what Sonny Cumbie was able to do with the likes of, Kenny Hill this past season, which was pretty substantial, and also Trevon Boykin. Could see TCU. But for me, Lane Kiffin and Florida Atlantic would be the viable spot for Jalen Hurts. Hurts worked under Lane Kiffin in 2016. We saw it happen, Mark, 2,780 passing yards, 954 rush yards, a school record, 36 touchdowns, responsible for the 2016 Southeastern Conference Offensive Player of the Year. All of these things Jalen Hurts did under the leadership of Lane Kiffin. And Kiffin's the type of guy that a quarterback whisperer, somebody that recognizes matchups, and a guy that knows the spread offense. Alabama is a program where it tries to marry the spread offense with the pro-style offense. And though that marriage can sometimes be good, Jalen Hurts is a pure spread guy. So if he was to go to someone like Lane Kiffin, Kiffin could bring that pure spread mentality out of him. Also, I would not be surprised wherever Kevin Sumlin lands that he doesn't make a phone call for Jalen Hurts. And the reason why I say this, when Kevin Sumlin was at Texas A&M, he courted Jalen Hurts hard. He wanted Hurts to come to Aggie Nation. Did not happen. Hurts went to Alabama. If Hurts is to transfer, I would not be surprised if Kevin Sumlin makes a little telephone call and pulls Jalen Hurts to where he is. If Hurts decides to stay at Alabama, there is the conversation of, could Hurts transfer to play wide receiver? Hurts already at 6'2", 220 pounds, which starts the physical big body receiver type. There's also a conversation of would he play on the defensive side and play at safety. Once again, that size, 6'2", 220, would be very adept at safety. If he was to pack on an extra 10 pounds, could be a pretty good linebacker, so the possibilities are endless. I would not see the running back perspective for Jalen due to Damian Harris is back. You got Josh Jacobs, who's your change of pace guy. Najee Harris, who a lot of people feel could be the best running back in Alabama, period. He's built like Derrick Henry, but has the running style of an Eddie Lacy. And then also in lies Brian Robinson, who's an absolute dog. I scouted this kid out personally, coming from Hillcrest High School in Tuscaloosa. So I wouldn't really see Jalen Hurts at running back, but the possibilities are endless. Could there be a 2-quarterback system? Would be awesome, especially how 2006 had Tim Tebow and Chris Leak at Florida, and how LSU was so close with Matt Flynn and Ryan Perrilloux. That didn't work out the way Les Miles and the Tigers would have liked it to. But be that as it may, we don't know what may happen, but this offseason, very interesting. One thing I do know, Mark, Tua and Jalen, those two love each other.
The 2-quarterback system is a bit tricky in that both quarterbacks have to be able to run that style of offense. So in a sense, they have to be similar in their skill set to run the same offense. The offense can't change on a dime for one guy unless he's only running the Wildcat. If he's truly running the offense, then he has to be able to run the offense. We know both of these guys can run this offense. Point number 2, but they have to be different to an extent. Otherwise, why pull one guy if you've got two very similar quarterbacks and you've decided that one is better than the other? There's usually a pass-heavy guy and a run-heavy guy, and that would somewhat be the case here with Jalen Hurts being a bit of a more physical runner. Of course, Tua showed us in the championship game his skill set at this point being very developed as a big-time thrower. The other thought that I have is we had even more of an accomplished passer in Braxton Miller a few years ago at Ohio State, not meaning that he took Ohio State to a national championship game. Obviously, he was on the sideline for that 2014 effort by the Buckeyes. But prior to that, a 2-time Big Ten MVP who owns a number of records at Ohio State and an accomplished passer, not a polished passer, but more developed than Jalen Hurts, a better quarterback overall than Jalen Hurts, but he still saw the writing on the wall, not just at Ohio State, but the business decision in a few years going to the NFL, and now we see him on the field with the Houston Texans. Would Jalen Hurts consider it also from that standpoint that if he's to earn a paycheck at some point, it's probably not going to be a quarterback?
I think that comes down to what Jalen wants to do, Mark. At the end of the day, does he want to go up to the next level? Does he want to do it at quarterback? Does he want to do it at receiver? Does he want to be a head? Does he want to probably coach the game of football one day if playing the game isn't all that suitable for him? So with this going on, now it warrants Jalen Hurts to really think, okay, right now at this point, I've just seen this Tua cat. He can really sling it. So at this point, I have to start thinking about what do I really want to do as far as football goes. Do I want to play this position? Do I want to play it at quarterback? Am I okay with moving to a different spot? Because we've seen it happen. The Antoine Randall L's of the world start off playing quarterback, found out I may not make a paycheck doing this. Antoine Randall L moved to wide receiver. The same with Randall Cobb. Played quarterback at Kentucky. Ends up moving to receiver. And now after Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb is the second most trusted guy for the Packers for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we even saw this with Julian Edelman. Played quarterback at Kent State University and then moved to wide receiver. And Tom Brady loves this dude. So we've seen this happen to a number of guys that started off playing quarterback, but understand that if my skill set is not there at quarterback, I can be able to adapt and find something else. This is a question that Jalen Hurts has to ask himself and has to quickly answer that, especially with how Tagavailoa played.